I put all 32 NFL teams into one bracket to see who would win, but there is one twist. Every time a team wins, they get to steal the best player from the other team. So for example, if the Panthers beat the Chiefs, they would take Patrick Mahomes onto their team. And without further ado, let's get this thing started with a very boring matchup between the Jags and the Browns. So we're simming each and every game, and to start out with, we got the teams that are just not doing too hot this year. 3-0 lead for Jacksonville to start this thing off. The Browns give it right back. Shocker with Deshaun Watson on the team, and then the Jags only score 3 out of it. This is like real life. This is very realistic. Is the Browns only score 3? This is quite possibly the exact game I would expect from these two teams, and the Jags are able to put it away and win 6-3 to start this thing off, and they will be stealing Myles Garrett to start. And that leads us to our next matchup between the Rams and the Raiders, which I feel like has been two disappointing teams this season. But the Raiders are going to kick it off, the Rams to start us out, and they don't get much. There has been a lack of offense so far in the first couple games we've played, but the Raiders score 7, and they don't have Devontae Adams anymore. At this point I'm recording the video, they don't have Devontae, but the Rams do respond with 7 more, and at halftime it looks like we're going to go in tied up at 7 apiece. But to start the third quarter, the Raiders are moving it and then move backwards. Great. The offense is just non-existent, but that means we do have some close games as the Raiders have the ball, they punt it away. This is great, man. This is great. But the Rams are moving it. They are in field goal range, it looks like, and instead they punt it from the 40-yard line. All right, let's keep doing it. Raiders picked off by the Rams. Wow. All right, and they're going to kick a field goal. Field goal blocked. Both teams just refusing to score here as we're going to OT. The Rams are going to start us off here. They're moving it up the field. Not really. Stafford is sacked. They're punting it away on 4th and 17. And the Raiders now are moving it very quickly up the field. They are in field goal range. They should be able to just kick it. But they get 6 instead. And we have our second winners. And honestly, they need a wide receiver. So they will be taking Cooper Kupp. And don't worry, as we get further into this, we will jump into close games. As of now, though, we got 32 teams left. We're not going to jump in quite yet until we're down to just a little less teams. But that now takes us to the Panthers and the Commanders. Commanders have been very surprisingly good this year. But with that being said, they're only 6 overalls better than the Panthers. So could we possibly see an upset here as the Panthers are pushing and they will settle for 3? Somewhat quick offense, not much, but the Panthers again have the ball. They're moving it up the field. 3rd and 6. They are... What the heck happened? They're going to convert, it looks like, and then start moving back, and they're going to have to settle for 3 once again. But the Panthers, they gotta start scoring some touchdowns because it looks like Washington is going to... I need to stop thinking the offenses are going to do something in this tournament. We're in game 3, and the lack of touchdowns has been astonishing thus far. But not there. 9-3 now. Washington gets the ball back to start the third quarter, and they score a touchdown. I'm kind of shocked. I'm happy with it, though. And they get the ball back. They're moving, and they score another touchdown. The Panthers are down 8. And now down 15. This is, so far, in my opinion, this has been very realistic. And the Panthers are going to drop down by 15. Game ends. They're down by 15. And I'm going to have to do some research here because I'm not sure what player would best fit on the Commanders from the Panthers. Now, after some research, although Derek Brown is the highest overall, the Commanders have Jonathan Allen and they got Deron Payne as well. So we are going to give them a little bit of a boost in the cornerback department and give them J.C. Horn. We're now moving on to the Lions against the Seahawks, and we better be getting more offense with the Lions out here. Start this thing out. Seahawks are taking it. And they are moving it up the field, and then they stop. Just great. But the Lions have got to have some offense, and they punt it away. That is just amazing. Great starts here for both teams. As somehow, I think Goff threw an interception. We have not seen that as of recent weeks. Goff has kind of been a front runner for the MVP, but not in this game. As the Seahawks are looking like they might take. They don't. I was going to say they might take a 10-0 lead. They don't. And the Lions finally score their first 3 points in the third quarter. But the Seahawks once again are pushing. And Noah Fant touchdown. It kind of almost puts this one away. We almost have our first upset in this. But the Lions are going to kick another field goal to stay in this game. They need a stop. And it's 3rd and 5. But Kenneth Walker is able to pick it up. And they continue to. They are going to be able to run this clock out, it looks like. But they get it down to 37 seconds before giving it back to the Lions. The Lions have a chance here, but not many timeouts. They got to get out of bounds, and they got 3 seconds left. Last play of the game here, and they did not get it done. We have our first upset. The Lions go down to the Seahawks in the first round. The Lions have so many great players for the Seahawks to take, but I think the best option here is to give them Penei Sewell. And after that upset, that brings us now to a rematch of last year's playoffs between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Honestly, offense should be booming this game, all right? Nick Sirianni, at head coach, probably is going to stop the Eagles, but as I'm saying that, the first drive, Philly goes down and scores. Tampa Bay, not as much luck as they turn the ball back over to Philly, who is not... They are. It looks like they're in field goal range, and they do hit the field goal. 10-0. The Buccaneers need to get on the board, and they're pushing upfield. But some penalties and a sack puts them back further than they want to. But a 21-yard catch from Chris Godwin puts them in range, and they are able to score the touchdown. Rashad White gets on the board for them. He's not been great in fantasy, all right? I'm just going to say it. Bucky Irving is kind of taking over. They got a lot of guys in that backfield. And, the Eagles punted away, and Tampa Bay gets a safety. Eagles get the ball back now, and they don't get too much here, but they are still moving it, and that will end the first half. The Bucs have got to get on the board here. All right, I feel like the Eagles are going to take over if they don't, and they are moving it up the field. They only get 3 out of it, but that's still 3. That's big. And they get the ball back right away. The defense makes a stand, but the offense decides they're not going to do anything with that ball. Eagles have it now and are able to take it to the fourth quarter as it's now 4th and 5. They're going to have to give the ball back to the Bucs in good field position. Can Baker do something? And the answer is yes. He's moving it up the field, but it is now a 3rd and 10, and he gets sacked, which pushes them out of field goal range, and they got to punt it away. They need a stop now, and this is just going to be disappointing if they can't get it, but they do, and they're already starting to move the ball and then backwards. How many sacks have they given up this game? And they go for it, turn it over, and now they just got to hope they hold them to 3, and they can't. Saquon with a 26-yard touchdown run, and that's going to be the game. Tampa Bay is down by 9. The Eagles are going to take this one home and avenge themselves and their playoff loss from last year. Now, there were a couple options for the Eagles to steal, including Tristan Wirfs. Mike Evans is also one of the higher overalls, but they obviously don't need wide receivers, so we are going to give it to Antoine Winfield to join the Eagles and take over for that secondary. But now we got a matchup between 2 heavyweights at Paul Brown Stadium. Bengals and Texans are our next matchup. You know, if I can say so myself, the Packers handled the Texans pretty well this week. Texans fans, I'm sorry. I love C.J. Stroud. I'm from Ohio. I'm an Ohio State fan. But it has to happen. The Bengals score 7 to start out with. And then, who's pushing them up the field? Definitely not Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs can't do it. He gets a touchdown. I need to stop talking crap here. 7-7, we finally have a game that looks like it'll be a shootout. And the Bengals punted away, and same with the Texans. He only netted 23 yards out of that punt. The Bengals with great field position. Very disappointing if they can't score a touchdown here, and they are not going to. They're going to take 3. McPherson kicks it and makes it. But the Texans have a chance before halftime to get back on the board, and they are going to with a touchdown from Tank Dell. Tank Dell did not exist in the Packers game. Let me just say that. All right, no more trash talking. Here we go. They didn't get the extra point for some reason, and the Bengals just run out the clock to end that first half. But they are going to not receive it. I take it back. That's my fault. The Texans receive the ball. They're moving it up the field, and they've got another first down. Another first down. They are inside the 20, inside the 10 now. First and goal. And on third and goal, they get a penalty. They got one play to get it in the end zone, and they do. Tank Dell with another touchdown. The Texans are starting to take a big lead on the Bengals. And man, oh man, this is not looking good for the Bengals. But they do get 7 on the board. Zach Moss for the touchdown. They got to get a stop, get the ball back, and get a score to at least tie this game up. But the Texans are moving it up the field, and there's just no stopping them right now. The Texans are going to push this one far enough away that the Bengals are not going to have a chance to respond. With a minute left, it looks like this game is just going to be over. The Texans are going to win 27-17. And now in the game, Jamar Chase is going to step in for the Texans because Nico Collins is injured, so he is not playing for the Texans. Now you got a duo of Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs. That's going to be pretty good. Texans fans, you guys might make a run. And now for one of our 2 last matchups on the left side of the bracket, in the first round, we've got the Bears and the Colts. Both teams have positional needs that could be filled by beating the other team and taking one of their players. So this game is very important as the Colts convert a 4th down very early. And obviously, as you can see by the jersey, you know who I'm rooting for here. And the Colts get on the board quick. Anthony Richardson, he's got a lot of talent, but he's not shown it in real life, unfortunately. It's been rough to see. The Bears are going to get 3 up on the board here. And Anthony Richardson, what are we doing here? Picked down to the 17, man. The Bears are able to get 7 out of it. DeAndre Swift with the touchdown. And the Colts have the chance to score before halftime, but they can't throw another interception. They are moving the ball pretty quickly, though. And they are going to be able to score, it looks like, as they're in field goal range. Barring any disappointments, they should score here. And they get a touchdown out of it, too. Josh Downs, 15-yard touchdown from AR5 now, I guess. Chicago's got the ball back with 34 seconds, and it looks like they're pushing up the field. No timeouts left. They're going to be able to get one more play off before halftime, and just gets knocked away. They do get the ball coming out of halftime, and they're moving the ball up the field quickly. But they punt it away. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Colts hang on a little longer, and you guys can get yourself a wide receiver, as that is a great punt down to the 1-yard line. Wow. And they're going to get the ball back. DeAndre Swift can't get the yards he needs. 4th quarter starting, and the Colts are getting the ball at their own 11. Not great field position to start this off, and they couldn't get a single yard on that drive. Another great punt by Rigoberto Sanchez, and very little return. Special teams has been saving the Colts this game, but the defense needs to step up and save them, and it is not happening here. A lot of time is going off this clock. 3rd and inches, big play here, and they get the stop. But not on 4th down. Caleb Williams is able to get it on 4th down and a touchdown to Keenan Allen. The Bears are a minute 51 away from winning this game. The Colts got to make something happen here. Anthony Richardson throws it away. Not doing too much. You got a 4th and 1. They get it, and they're moving up quickly. It looks like they are pretty close to field goal range, and they are going to just get rid of the football, stop the clock, and they're running the ball now? What is going on here? They don't have timeouts. They got to be careful with what they're doing, and they're just going to take the field goal to push this thing to overtime, where they're going to start with the ball. Big score here. If they score a touchdown, the game's over, and they're moving it quickly. Please keep moving it. They're doing just that. They're doing just that. Down to the 9-yard line, 2nd and 5, now 3rd and 5, 4th and 3. They're going to get the touchdown. For some reason, the Bears have a chance to respond here. I don't know why. But we'll let it ride, all right? We'll let it ride. Bears fans can't say I'm biased. With 24 seconds left, we have a 3rd and 7, and they're going to get it down to the 4-yard line with 9 seconds left, and they're going to score a touchdown. Next score should win this game. There should be no other, alternates here, as it does. The Colts kick a field goal to win the game. Matt Gay in the clutch makes it happen, and I think DJ Moore is the better player, but Keenan Allen is an X factor. So in that case, Keenan Allen is now going to the Colts to help out their wide receiver core. And now for our final matchup on the left side, we've got the Jets and the Patriots, 2 disappointing teams this year in the AFC East. But the Jets go out there and they're going to score first. Rodgers runs for a touchdown. He's still in his prime in the game. In real life, not really. 7 interceptions this season is not great, as the Patriots are able to get 3, pushing up the field and continuing to. On 4th down, they got it, and they're going to end off with 3. The Jets are going to have a 10-3 lead at halftime, with the Patriots starting out with the football, and they're moving it quickly where they score a touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson ties this thing up at 10 apiece. And then the Jets go down and score quicker than I can even process. My bad. I didn't see who scored the touchdown there. But the Patriots are pushing. This is kind of now or never. They've got probably one more drive, and Drake May fumbles it on 4th and 1. The Jets get the football back and can try to run out the clock. And it looks like they're going to be able to. And just kick a field goal here to put this game out of reach. The Patriots are not going to be able to come back, and the Jets are going to be able to win. Unfortunately for them, they're not going to be able to steal a head coach, though. The Jets are going to steal Jabril Peppers from the Patriots to end off the left side of our bracket. And with the first side of our bracket done, here's where we are sitting now, starting off now on the right side, which gives us a heavyweight battle of the Bills and the Ravens in our first game. This one's definitely going to be a good one, as the Ravens, I think, are the highest overall in Madden. And to start this thing out, the Bills score. Pretty shocking how quickly they score. The Ravens are also able to. I don't know what I'm looking at here, but it did not look like that happened, and the Bills score once again. They do have Amari Cooper in this sim, and they're moving the ball up the field. They're going to be able to get nothing. I don't know how they didn't score 3 on that, but that gives the Ravens a chance to tie this up, which they do, and they get the ball back with a minute left in the third quarter. They're moving very slowly up the field, and now they're starting to pick it up. The Ravens score a touchdown, and the Bills have a chance. Very few opportunities left here. They've got to score here, and they're moving it backwards all of a sudden. 3rd and 28, 4th and 28. This is pretty much for the game, and obviously they can't get it. They got 3 timeouts, and they're able to get the ball back with 16 seconds. No, they're not. Derrick Henry called game. That's going to end it. The Ravens are going to take this one. And the newest addition in Amari Cooper is going to go to the Ravens. I think that's probably the best fit, so that's what's going to happen. So after the Ravens win, that now leads us to, I believe, the 2nd highest overall in Madden, in the Chiefs against their division rivals, the Broncos. I think with the addition of a quarterback, the Broncos could be a very solid team with a chance to win this, as they go up by 3 to start this out. They go up 6-0. It looks like Patrick Mahomes is having a realistic to real life game here, as they're down 13-0 now. He's not had a great season in real life. They're going to put up 3 though, and the Broncos are going to take a huge lead before halftime. This is shocking. 20 points from the Broncos. Very interesting, but that does, give the Chiefs a chance to score, and the Broncos somehow score again. I think it's safe to say we have our first really big upset now, as the Chiefs are going to lose by over 20, but they do get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. They don't get the onside, though, and the Broncos are going to be able to run this clock out and win the ball game. They're taking Patrick Mahomes. I don't think there should be any discussion. They're taking Patrick Mahomes, and I think they have a solid chance to go very far with how great their defense is. But now we have the Cardinals and my Green Bay Packers. I'm hoping this is realistic to what happened in real life a few weeks ago, as the Cardinals are going to start out with it, and they score a touchdown very quick. Oh my goodness, the Packers are down 10-0. I mean, at least you know this isn't a staged video. It's 10-7 now. And the Packers do have a chance to tie this up or take the lead, which obviously I'm hoping they do, and they are able to make it a 14-10 ball game, and they are going to get the ball out of halftime. Jordan Love put together a drive, man. They're going to punt it away. And the Cardinals have a chance, but they give it back to the Packers, who are now in field goal range, but they are not even going to need it. Touchdown Packers. Maybe it is staged. You'll never know. It isn't. But the Packers are up 21-10, now 21-17. Please put together a game-sealing drive. And, with less than 2 minutes left, here we go. 4th and 6. This is where you need a kicker. I should expect this from my Packers. The Cardinals have a chance to win this now. They're going up the field, 15 seconds left, final play of the game here, and they were not able to get it done. My Packers hold on, and I know we have some great studs, young studs at safety, but the best pick for us here is to take Budda Baker, so that's who we're adding to the squad. Which leads us now to the Chargers and Cowboys, who my Packers will play the winner of next game. Maybe not next game, but next round. And to start this out, the Chargers move it up the field quickly and are able to score. The Chargers have been kind of surprising this year in real life, and I mean, some people would say the same about the Cowboys as they make it 7-7. I don't think so. The Cowboys just did not look good heading into the season, and they've not played good. We got a 14-14 tie, though. This has been back and forth. The Cowboys take a 21-14 lead. Madden is going to take the Cowboys as many times as they can. So I think this is probably the team I think is going to end up winning just because they're the Cowboys, as they take a 24-17 lead, and it looks like they are going to be able to hold on to it as Zeke runs for a 68-yard touchdown. I don't even know if Zeke has 68 yards this entire season, but that is going to end the game. The Cowboys are going to win, and they're going to take Derwin James. Honestly, if it were real life, if I were a Cowboys fan, I would want Justin Herbert over Dak. We're going to put Derwin on the team. But after that Cowgirls win, we have another divisional rivalry game with the Saints and Falcons facing off. The Falcons have been very disappointing in real life. I thought they would do better than they have as they take a 3-0 lead here. And the Saints started out great and then kind of played to the expectations we all had for them. As the Saints do take a 7-6 lead, and they're going to make it even bigger. 14-6 now. The Falcons are struggling just a little bit, just a tiny bit, and the Saints... This is games 1 through 3 Saints right here, and the Falcons are just not doing great. They kick their 3rd field goal of the game. The Saints score again to make it a 15-point ball game, and that's just pretty much going to do it. There's not enough time for the Falcons. They do get points, though, and if they could get a stop, they're going to get this ball back, and unfortunately for them, they cannot. The Saints are going to take this one home, and they're going to steal a very solid piece of the secondary and Jesse Bates to play back at safety for them. Now leading to a battle of two of my least favorite teams in the league, the Steelers and the Vikings. And surprisingly, and bad for me, both of them have been pretty solid this season. As the Vikings, kick the Packers' butts, and the Steelers are just doing Steelers things right now. 7-0 start for the Steelers, and then the Vikings score very quickly. Both teams could gain some pretty valuable players from this game in TJ Watt or Justin Jefferson. And right now, the Vikings look like they have the best chance of winning this, up 10-7, but the Steelers have the ball and they're moving up the field where they are going to get 3 out of it. Kick is good by Boswell, and now they get the ball back. 4 minutes left. They're running a lot of clock out, and they might be able to settle for a game winner or not. Score a touchdown with 1:24 left, but you got to be scared of Justin Jefferson coming down, although Sam Darnold is throwing to him, and with 12 seconds left, they are not going to be able to get this thing done. Just not enough fuel left in the engine, and Jay Jettis is going to the Steelers. That now leads us to a matchup between two disappointing teams this year, the Niners and the Titans. This one, I feel like the Niners should win pretty easily. They are 11 overalls better, and we've got a 2-0 ball game to start this thing out. What are we doing right now? 9-0 as the 49ers are starting to take over, but the Titans are able to get 3 and stay in this game as halftime hits. Nice. 6-9. Okay. Still not very impressive from the 49ers, and whoever they gain out of this is not really going to help their team much if they were to win, which it does look like they're going to. If the Titans won, however, which there still is a chance, but they cannot get the onside kick. So that's going to hurt them. They do get to stop with 26 seconds left. Can Mayo Man put something together? And the answer to that is absolutely not. I think the best choice to add to their team is to put L'Jarius Sneed on the 49ers. Leading to our final game in the first round, the Dolphins and the Giants. A quarterback battle here between Tyler Huntley and Daniel Jones. It's safe to say that neither of those quarterbacks will be leaving their squad as the team transfer over. But Daniel Jones gets off to a hot start here, makes it 7-0, and the Miami Dolphins, the offense really, they respond quickly there. It's not what you wouldn't expect from this team, as the Dolphins are pushing it up the field and are able to make it a 4-point ball game at halftime, and can't do anything to start us out, but they are pushing it upfield, and they get a touchdown out of it. Snoop Huntley here is making some magic, but Danny Dimes is trying to do it himself and gets picked off. Giants fans, I hate to say, you probably should have expected this, but you probably should have expected this. Dexter Lawrence is going to be going to the Dolphins as their winning player. And we are now set for the second round to start. We've got some great matchups ahead of us, so make sure to stay tuned, and also give a like and subscribe if you've made it this far in the video. Also, make sure to comment who you think is going to win this, as we have the Jags now taking on the Raiders. And if you're wondering who gets to be the home team in each game, it is the lower team on the bracket, at least, is how we're doing it. Is we got a 7-7 ball game starting this thing out, 14-7 now, and the Jags are starting to pull away with, not starting, they have pulled away with it, 28-10 now, but they are going to be able to score again, as that is our highest scoring game so far. The Jags offense came alive, and they got the addition of Myles Garrett. I don't really get that, to be honest, but a very interesting one. And honestly, the Raiders have Cooper Kupp now. I think that's probably the best addition for the Jaguars, even though they have a lot of solid wide receivers. They'll get a real wide receiver one now. But now we have the Commanders with the addition of J.C. Horn against the Seahawks, who have Penei Sewell now. And we've got a rainy day in Seattle as these two square off. And to start out with, Jaden Daniels gets the Commanders on the board here. The Seahawks are trying to respond, and it looks like they are going to be able to. 7-7 ball game, about to go into halftime here, but the Seahawks are moving, and they're going to score another touchdown. But Jaden Daniels has something to say about that, and they're going to take 3 to end this first half off. The Seahawks start out with it, give it back to the Commanders, who turn it over then to the Seahawks. We got a 17-17 ball game. I don't know what is going on here. We have a good one, but Commanders got to come back now, down by 7. They give it to the Seahawks, and somehow they have the ball. I thought at the Seahawks 19, but they don't, and they couldn't do too much with it. That's going to end the game. The Commanders are going to go down, and I think that means that Jonathan Allen is now becoming a Seahawk. This now leads us to a big showdown between the Texans and the Eagles, where Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs are the best wide receiver core in the entire nation, easily. But Antoine Winfield and Darius Slay will be trying to stop them, but they can't to start this thing off. 7-0 Houston. Philly ties it back up. Houston's moving down the field and scores again. We're going to have to see the stats from these two wide receivers as the Eagles score another touchdown. We might be able to jump into this one, as it's going to be a 3-point game. And at halftime, Eagles are going to take a 4-point lead. Great start for them. The Texans have to keep this offense rolling, and that's exactly what they do. Touchdown Texans. They're back up 3, and the Eagles are just going to have to punt it away. And the Texans score quickly. We might not be able to jump into this one after all, as the Texans have a very solid 10-point lead. And the Eagles are moving it up the field, but there's just not enough time for us to jump in. They finally are able to score, but with 1 second left, and there's nothing they can do with that. A great win for the Texans. They can't add another wide receiver, so we're going to be giving them Jordan Mailata to add to their O-line. But as we said, we are going to check out the stats of our two wide receivers, and Stephon Diggs had 99, and Jamar Chase came in with 84 and 2 touchdowns. I made the choice. I put Stephon Diggs and Jamar Chase together, and it looks like it paid off for the Texans. Texans fans, you're welcome. That should pay back for all of the harassment I gave you early in this video. And that now leads us to the Patriots and Jets. It's going to be a fun one. I don't understand why we're getting all of these animations here, but we are going to have a different game here as Keenan Allen has joined the Colts, and also Christian Gonzalez joined the Jets. I know I said it was going to be Jabril Peppers, but he's injured according to Madden, so we couldn't put him in. But here we go. This is going to be an interesting one. As the Colts score quickly. You know, if Anthony Richardson gets himself a couple wide receivers he can throw to, maybe this happens in real life, but 2 offensive drives, 2 touchdowns, very long drives for both of them, and another long drive that ends in 3. The Jets have their second possession, but not much time on this clock. They do score 7, though. Rodgers to Devontae. Gotta love that as a Packers fan. It's not in Packers green, but at least it is in green. 14-10. As the Jets get the ball back, they're pushing it up the field, and they're going to be able to get a touchdown out of this. I don't know how they got to the 9-yard line, but that's interesting. An 11-point game, and the Jets are just going to add to the lead. Another game that we cannot jump into because it's just not close enough, as Anthony Richardson and the Colts are going to fall to the Jets. And Rodgers needs a better O-line, so we're giving him Quentin Nelson to step up and take over on that O-line. That does finish us off on the left side of the bracket. In round 2, though, we have 3 AFC teams and 1 NFC team surviving. We have a bloodbath on the right side, though. To start us out, we have a very interesting battle here between the Ravens and the Broncos, who added Amari Cooper to the Ravens and Patrick Mahomes to the Broncos. If I had to guess, I still think the Ravens are going to take this one, but it's going to be interesting to see as the Ravens do start out with a 7-0 lead. Patrick Mahomes comes right back, though. This is going to be a battle, 14-7. I'm hoping we can jump into this one, but the Ravens don't want that to happen, as they're going to take a 14-point lead into halftime. The Broncos respond very quickly, and they've got the ball again. With a couple minutes left here in the 4th, they tie this thing up. The Ravens are pushing it up the field and get a touchdown. If the Broncos are able to push this forward, which they have, we're going to be able to jump in for the last play. As here we go, we have a 1st and 10 situation with 9 seconds left, and Patrick Mahomes has a chance to take the Broncos to the next round, or at least take this game to overtime. They got 1 timeout, so possibly a couple plays here, and Mahomes is going back, and he's going to find a guy to get them out of bounds at the 30. I don't know how much that really does for you, but with 4 seconds left, they have a pretty manageable shot to the end zone here. Here we go. Can Mahomes make some magic happen in the last play? He drops back. Everybody's going to the end zone. He's lobbing this thing up, and it is knocked down. The Ravens are going to take this one home, and they're also going to take Patrick Surtain with them back home to Baltimore. And here we go, a place the Packers have never lost, AT&T Stadium, with the addition of Budda Baker. But the Cowboys have the addition of Derwin James, so let's see what happens. Obviously, you guys know what I'm rooting for here is a Packers win. And to start out with, we have a defensive battle, which you kind of could have guessed coming into this with the addition of 2 defensive players. But the Packers finally move the ball and are able to kick a field goal. This is something that I've never seen in my life until Brandon McManus hit the game winner against the Texans on Sunday. But the Packers, getting anything there would have been nice, but they're not able to. They're down 7-3 at halftime, and the Cowboys are going to take a 14-3 lead. This is not looking great, as the Packers are able to score here. They get the 2-point conversion, and if they can get a stop, they had a chance, and they just couldn't. They couldn't. Just rough, man. That is tough to see as a Packers fan. They're going to score with 4 seconds left, but there's just not any time to jump in. And my Packers fall. It's not rigged. The Cowgirls take us down. And I do think, Jair's on the team, but I think the best addition would probably be Josh Jacobs going to the Cowboys. Unfortunately, the Packers lose, but we do have another interesting battle here between the Saints and the Steelers. With the Steelers gaining Justin Jefferson, a valuable wide receiver piece, and the Saints getting Jesse Bates, another great addition to their very strong defense already. They need to get a stop, but they're just not being able to get when they do force a field goal. The offense needs to keep cooking, though. and they're not able to. 10-7 at halftime. The Saints are pushing up the field and are able to get 3. Is this going to be a game we're going to be able to jump into? Possibly. As the Saints are moving up the field, they're in field goal range, and they're going to be able to get a field goal blocked. All right, well, here we go. The Steelers are just running out the clock at this point. We'll jump in if there's an opportunity, and there is. But here we go. A minute left in the game. 1st and 10. And, Derek Carr stepping back. He's going to hit. That looks like Rashid Shaheed. I thought he was injured. I guess not. They put him back in for some reason. And they're letting valuable time tick off this clock. They're not getting back to the line quick. Do we have another bad clock management game from EA? I think we do. No huddle, but they still took 20 seconds to get to the line, which was 9 yards away. They have no timeouts. And, underneath passes, that's great and all, but you're not getting too far down the field, and you need 3 out of this. They're still not getting to the line quick. I think it is an issue with the clock management in this game, in the sim. They've got to fix it. But, again, 20 seconds run off this clock before they're even able to get back to the line. They get the snap off. Carr drops back. He's got nobody, but that pocket is holding up so nice until he's taken down. And that's going to be the game. There's no shot they're getting back to this line quick enough. And there you go. You got the Steelers moving on to the next round. I don't know who they should take. A lot of great options. But now that I've thought about it, I think we're going to give him Marshawn Lattimore. That would be another great addition to their defense. I was thinking about Chris Olave, but we'll see how the offense does. Marshawn Lattimore, welcome to the team. And to end this second round off and get our final team here, we've got the 49ers versus the Dolphins. Both teams got defensive improvements with Dexter Lawrence going to the Dolphins. I mean, one of the most underrated players in the league, in my opinion. And then L'Jarius Sneed, a great cornerback, going to the 49ers, who don't really have they got Charvarius Ward, but they don't have a solid 2 even. So it's good to see that as we got 7-7 ball game going into half. It looks to be, and it is. The Dolphins are going to get it coming out of halftime, and they are going to get points here. So 10-7, but now it is 14-10. This could be a game we're able to jump into as the Dolphins are going to score a touchdown. 2 minutes left. Can the Niners keep moving the ball and give us a chance to jump in? No. Jordan Brooks picks it off, and all they have to do is run down the clock, get 1 first down, which they aren't able to do. We got another game to jump into. The Dolphins did kick a field goal to make it 20-14, and now the 49ers have a chance to win this game. A lot of great options for the Dolphins to choose if they were to win this game. I was thinking through offensively. I mean, you've got the wide receivers, Debo and Ayuk. You've got CMC. But all those positions, I mean, you got a couple great wide receivers, and you've also got a pretty good Raheem Mostert and Achane as Brock Purdy goes down. You've got some good running backs. Some help they need, although they just got the sack there, is from their pass rush. So Nick Bosa is going to the Dolphins if they're able to pull this thing off. And once again, I mean, the clock management is just terrible. I don't know if we should keep jumping into these games or not with how bad it has been. I think it's better when we're not in sim, but we do get him to step out of bounds. Brandon Ayuk saves some time. 18 seconds to go, 3rd and 5. Purdy's back in the pocket. He is throwing it deep down the sideline and just throws it away. 4th and 5, really disappointing scene here. But this is it. This is the final play. If they can't convert, they do. And they're not going to say that Kittle got out of bounds. He was moving backwards, and that's that. Nick Bosa, you're moving on to the next round, but unfortunately not with your own team. We're now on to the Elite 8, where we only have 2 NFC teams remaining in this. Kind of shocking what teams we have left, but it should make for an interesting finish. And here we will have our first team advancing to the Final 4 between the Jags and the Seahawks. We got 2 teams here that I'm sure not many people thought would make it to the Final 4, but here they are, and the Seahawks start off by taking a 7-0 lead. I've got to imagine Cooper Kupp helped make it 7-7, and the Jags get it back quickly, and they're able to score another touchdown. 14-7 here. They got the ball back to start the third quarter, and it's a 10-point game. I don't know if we're going to be able to jump into this one. The Jags look like they have it under control, and they're going to be able to score again to make it a 13-point ball game. The Seahawks need to respond quickly, and they turned it over. Not great for them, and we're not even going to jump in. This game's over. A 16-point win for the Jags. We'll check out the stats here, but that's pretty impressive. Now, before we forget, we will give them Devon Witherspoon, who is rated a little higher than Tariq Woolen. So we're going to give the Jaguars a little help in their secondary, which is what they needed. But, I mean, Geno Smith threw 92 yards. You can't do that in an Elite 8 game. But the addition of Cooper Kupp was definitely a bit of help. 4 for 60, the most yards receiving and also most receptions. I don't think anybody got a touchdown. So can't hold me to that one, that he didn't get a touchdown. He was still the best receiver in the game. And next up, we have the Jets and Texans, both looking to punch a ticket to the Final Four. Both teams added O-line help with Quentin Nelson going to the Jets. Quentin Johnson cannot block. He can't catch either. He's been better this year. Don't give him crap. Jordan Mailata to the Texans. And the Texans start out strong with a touchdown. The Jets have no response, but the Texans do. The Texans go right back down there and score again to make it a 10-point game. And, I hate to say it, but Rodgers, if you can't win this, you can't blame your defense. It is a solid defense, and they are only going to be able to get 10-3 now. But they do score a touchdown to make it 10-10 and 17-10. What a turnaround for Rodgers and the Jets. As if the Texans tie this up, which they do, we're going to be able to jump into this. But the Texans get the ball right back. What the heck happened? They are going to be able to score 3. And the Jets now have a little bit of time to put this game, hopefully to overtime for their sake at least. Now with 37 seconds left, the Jets have the ball at their own 24. Rodgers has to put something together. And dumping it off short to Garrett Wilson is not going to do much. Who, I'm surprised, does not even have a superstar. I mean, that's pretty bad. All right, Garrett Wilson's pretty good. I know he's had a rough season, but he's a dog. Give it to him. And, let's stand around. Let's stand around, Let's talk about each other's days. Now, let's get to the line. 20 seconds ran off that clock. And then Rodgers gets drilled. Wow. Quentin Nelson is not on, he's not a tackle, so he can't help with that outside pressure, unfortunately. But that does make it a 3rd and 2 now. Unless they get out of bounds, that's going to be the game here. This is it. They have one play pretty much, and he's going to throw it away. This is it, though. This is completely it. 4th and 2 with 3 seconds left. Rodgers drops back. He's going to have no time, but he still makes a throw. No shot. That's going to do it. Touchdown. What in the world just happened? The Jets come back and win the game. The Texans fall. Wow. I've been keeping notes of who needs to go where. I put Sauce Gardner to the Texans on there already. I was ready. That's not happening. Rodgers ends it off, and he's going, I guess he's going to the conference championship game, which is not a place that he really probably wants to be. Now, with the pressure we saw getting on Rodgers very quickly, we are going to give Laramie Tunsil to the Jets. He will go to right tackle. Tyron Smith already has the left tackle. He's got it filled. But now we have a huge battle. The AFC teams have been dominating. Can Josh Jacobs give the Cowboys a push to make it past this round? The Ravens have Pat Surtain, so, he's probably going to be getting a souvenir from Dak Prescott at some point in this game. As it looks like the Ravens are actually the one to first turn this ball over, but they do make it a 7-7 ball game. No harm, no foul. And, it's just been back and forth this first half, tied at halftime at 7 apiece. We're going to have another one to jump into, it looks like. 10-7, the Ravens do have the ball, and they're pushing upfield, but not too far. The Cowboys moving it upfield, and they are going to be able to score a touchdown. The Ravens are getting down to their final drive here. I don't want to screw up the timing. I'm not going to hop in. We'll see if they can score a touchdown or not, and they do. That's going to be the game. That is going to be the game. Down go the Cowboys, the final NFC team remaining There's not going to be a single one in the Final Four. Sorry we didn't jump in. I didn't want to mess up the timing of that game, though. The Ravens just didn't have the timeouts, and I was going to screw it up if I did. And with that being said, Micah Parsons will be going to the next round with the Ravens. Which now brings us to our final game, and the Steelers and Dolphins are fighting to see who can punch their ticket to the Final Four. Both teams have been just amazing. I think these are two of the toughest teams to beat, although I think the Ravens are going to be the toughest. As we got a 7-7 ball game, both teams are scoring here, and the Dolphins are going to be able to score again. This is a good sign for them. They're going to get the ball back, pushing it up the field, making it a 14-point lead. Russell Wilson has to respond, and he does with a touchdown. Good for him, but the defense is something that I'm shocked by, is unable to stop the Dolphins, and that's going to do it. There's just not enough time on this clock. The Dolphins are going to move on to the next round, and we have a weird cluster of teams making it to the Final Four. I feel like it would be wrong of me not to choose TJ Watt to go to the Dolphins, so that's who's going to go. And here we go. Just as everybody guessed, the Jags and Jets and the Dolphins and Ravens in our Final Four matchups. As here we go, the championship game. It all relies on these next two matchups. Jags and Jets are first up. Starting out here, the Jets get the football and they score a touchdown quickly. The Jags cannot respond, but they do get the ball back and are able to respond the next time. Jets punt it away. I thought they got a touchdown there. They're moving it up the field. They're able to score right before halftime. And again, they make it to 6-point lead now. But is this going to be able to hold? A touchdown or a field goal here would be huge. They get the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Are we going to be able to jump into this thing? The answer is yes. The Jags score and go for two. The Jets have their hands team out here to get the onside kick, and they're able to recover. The Jags have 3 timeouts left, so the Jets have to get a first down to seal this game. And, you know, Rodgers has an issue of sealing the semifinal games, but that's a big run there, and that pretty much does it. Breece Hall with a huge gain. They're going to be able to at least get this down to 40 seconds. Maybe they got that first down too quick. Maybe not. Who knows? But Laramie Tunsil seems to be helping them out as Breece Hall gets another good gain there. Only 2, though. I thought it was a little better than it was. And the Jets have 2 plays to get a first down and completely seal this game off. If the Jets were able to win this game, I think the best choice for them would be to take Myles Garrett off the hands of the Jaguars. And they're going to hand it off to Breece again, who had a bit of a lane, but he just kind of cut back to the inside. I don't know why he did that. It makes it 3rd and 6. This clock can get as low as 28 as of right now. Jags fans keep holding out hope. There's a chance. As they're lining up to pass, they're not. First down, Jags fans lose all hope. It's over. The Jets are going to win this one, and they're taking Myles Garrett too. We have our first team in the championship game. As the final seconds do tick off, and I mean, Jets fans, you still have Salah as your head coach in the game. We know this is unrealistic. Hate to break it to you guys, but you're not going to the Super Bowl this year. But who will the Jets play? We're going to see right here. Ravens and Dolphins in the last game in the Final Four here. Both teams are very solid. This is going to be a good matchup. As the Dolphins start out with it, they don't get any points. The Ravens do, though, make it a 7-0 ball game. And then the Dolphins come back down and tie it up. They get the ball back. And then this ball is just like hot potato right now. I don't know who's got it. Ravens do have it now, and they push it all the way down the field to get 7. The Dolphins are trying to come back, and they are unable to get a touchdown, but they do make it a 4-point ball game to stay in it. The Ravens now are giving the ball back to the Dolphins with 1:21 left, where we will jump in. 2nd and 10, 1:18 left. The Dolphins have to score a touchdown to win this game. They can't kick the field goal, and they are just throwing it underneath Tua. What are we doing? 1:12 left. We know they're not hurrying up back to the line. I don't know what's going on here. 20 seconds went off the clock there as they got 5 yards. It's not going to work if you keep doing that. And another underneath throw. They only get 3 yards. You got the timeout. At this point, wasted. But they refuse to do so, and 20 more seconds go off the clock. See, this is why I don't like jumping in. We don't get gameplay, but it's better than this. And Tua is running the football. Nice job. You got the first down, but you got one more play now. Tua, what were we doing there? That's why I prefer my quarterbacks without CTE. As Tua is now going back, and he's just going to get rid of the football. I mean, okay, but your arm isn't strong enough to get it to the end zone from here. Not many people's are, but definitely not Tua's. 6 seconds left, and they're motioning the wide receiver out, and Tua is he throw it away again? Tua. We don't have all day here, man. We don't have all day. We got to go. For Tua and the clock, that was the great decision, but for me, on about my 10th hour of making this video, I'm ready to go here. As Tua ends it off with a sack. Thank you for throwing it away twice just to get sacked to end that game. But that does it. The Ravens are moving on to the championship game where they will take on the Jets. And before I forget to mention it, the Ravens are going to be taking Tyreek Hill off of the Dolphins' hands. But here we go, the matchup you guys have been waiting for all video. The Ravens versus the Jets, with a lot of new additions on each team. We have officially made it to the championship game. Jets, Ravens, I mean, not a Super Bowl that could happen in real life, both teams being AFC teams, but Rodgers and Lamar in the championship game would be fun to watch. As here we go, a lot of new additions to this team. The Ravens have gotten Tyreek. They've also got Pat Surtain. They are just loaded to the gills. Amari Cooper as well on this team. Not to mention as well as Micah Parsons, and the Jets have Myles Garrett, Quentin Nelson. I'm looking through these on a list. They didn't get Jabril Peppers. They did get Christian Gonzalez, though. I mean, just a very strong team. You can't forget about Laramie Tunsil as well. As always, we're simming through until the very end. We will get a glimpse of the game. 3-0 to start out with Baltimore on top. The Jets go down the field and do get a touchdown quickly, though. And they get the ball back to the Jets. Do stall out, though, to give the ball back to the Ravens. 7-3 with 2:28 left in this game. The Jets get the ball, in the half. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. The Ravens have it at the goal line and are able to get nothing out of it. I wonder if they went for it. Time ran out. Interesting play there. But once again, the offenses are just not clicking. We're finishing this off how we started it. 10-3. Ravens are down, but they are going to score to make this a 10-10 ball game. At least we've got an interesting one, as the Ravens are going to get the ball, and with 3 minutes left, they score. The Jets have time to take the lead back. But this is where we jump in at, as the clock is ticking down to the 2-minute warning. The Jets have to score at least a field goal to push this to OT. And for some reason, they just fell down there. Mike Williams with an interesting play to get it to the 2-minute warning, but we've got a 3rd and 4 here. Rodgers with an empty backfield drops back. The pass rush is starting to get to him, and he is taken down. Micah Parsons gets in there for the sack, wearing number 57. 4th and 11, and this is pretty much the game. There's not much the Jets can really do. They have all 3 timeouts, so they could hope to get this ball back, but Rodgers drops back, hits his receiver, who goes out of bounds before getting to the first down marker. Allen Lazard cannot get to the first down. The Ravens take over. And with that duo right there, Lamar and Derrick Henry, and then the just dominant offensive line as well, I don't know how good of a chance the Jets have of getting this football back, but it's not great. I can tell you that much. As on 1st and 10, they line up very, very much in a run formation. And still, Derrick Henry is going to get 3 out of it. That's not something that you want to continually give up here. 2nd and 7, they're lining up, hitting the stretch with Derrick Henry, and what a tackle by C.J. Mosley. That saved the game right there. Only a gain of 2. This is going to be an interesting spot for Baltimore. What do they do here? 3rd and 5, they're lining up in the shotgun formation, and they're doing a fake pitch and passing. He's got Derrick Henry open, but he hits Mark Andrews and just go down. End the game there. The Jets use their final timeout, and it won't do anything. What a play there to whip up on 3rd down. I thought it was going to be a run. And, Lamar, Mark Andrews, all reliable there. They call game. And after simming 31 games, we have our Super Bowl champion. The Ravens win it all. I mean, they had a lot of great wins on the way to get them some great players too. Just a great run by the Ravens to win this game. And the tournament as a whole. This game and the tournament. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It would mean a lot. And, come back for some more. Hopefully, we'll have something like this very soon. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.